Today on Cooking with Tammy, I'm going to show you how to make my delicious $1 million creamy cheeseburger pasta bake. It's rich, it's cheesy, it's loaded with tons of flavor, and guess what? I think it might even be better than Hamburger Helper. With that being said, let's get to cooking. All right, as you can see, our pan is nice and hot. I have an 80-20 ground beef today, so I'm not going to add any additional oil. We're just going to add our ground beef to the pan and cook it until it browns up. I'm not going to add the onions or anything just yet because I'm not working with a lean cut of ground beef. Our 80-20 might be a leaner cut than I anticipated because we don't have much oil going on in the pan. Since this is a large size skillet, I'm going to place the meat to the side of the pan and I'm going to add my onions to the ground beef oil. All right, we're going to cook our onions down until they become translucent and fragrant, of course, before adding the garlic. Alrighty, let's incorporate the onions with the ground beef. Stir it on up really good. Fold those onions into the beef. We got a lot of sizzling action going on. That just means that we're cooking, okay? We are doing our thing in the kitchen. We're gonna make a little well in the middle, and that's gonna be for our garlic. Now for this recipe, feel free to use any type of garlic, okay? If you have garlic paste on hand, use your garlic paste. If you have finely chopped garlic, minced garlic, add your garlic. If you only have granulated or powdered garlic, you could definitely use that as well. All right, once the garlic is fragrant, we're gonna combine the garlic with the ground meat. Turn the flame down just a bit because we wanna maintain that control. And with that being said, it's time for us to season. All right, the choice of seasonings, as I mentioned earlier, we're going to add some garlic powder. Add a good amount. We're going to add some onion powder. Let's add some smoked paprika and just sprinkle it on top of the meat. Not only is it going to give it a nice smoky flavor, but it's going to help to enhance the color as well. Let's add some of my Cooking with Tammy all-purpose chicken seasoning. This is a universal seasoning. It's great on everything. All right, we're going to add a good amount of that. We're also going to add some of our Yo Who's Hungry seasoning, which is going to give us a nice herbaceous and yet still a slight hint of that all-purpose seasoning flavor as well. You know what? Let's add some beef bouillon for that amplified flavor as well. Make sure those dry seasonings are incorporated throughout the meat. We're going to add a small drizzle of water. Drizzle of water like it's raining, right? But we've added the water simply because we want to pull everything together. We want to be able to melt some of those seasonings down, all of those powders and granulated seasonings that we've added. Let's remove the meat from the pan, place it into a bowl, reserve it for later because we are going to be using the same pan. Let's make our cheese sauce. So with that being said, let's add some butter. We are going to add equal parts all-purpose flour. When it comes down to combining my flour with the butter, I like to add it slowly. As they say, slowly but surely. I don't add the flour all at the same time because I like to maintain that control, right? I want the flour to toast up because when it comes to making any sauce or gravy, the ending result should not taste like flour. And besides, it allows me to get all of those little lumps and, lumps and bumps out of the sauce. Take your time and just gradually work the flour. And that's just basically it with that. All right, this is perfect. As you can see, nice and bubbly and ready to go. We are going to add our heavy cream along with our whole milk. Whipped cream cheese. The whipped cream cheese works out a lot better. Nevertheless, if you do have cream cheese, the regular block of cream cheese, you want that cream cheese to be room temperature, right? If you don't have the whipped version of the cream cheese, which in my opinion breaks down a lot faster, then definitely make sure that your cream cheese is room temperature. We're going to add some Worcestershire sauce, which is going to bring up flavor, okay? And we're also going to add some Dijon mustard to the sauce because the Dijon mustard is going to help to bring out the depths of flavor within the sauce, especially when adding cheese. It works really good together. Let's use our whisk to break this down even faster. And while I'm whisking, right, I'm also scraping the bottom of the pan to get all of that residual excess from the bottom of the pan. We have a nice creamy sauce going on, so we'll take the time to add our cheeses. For today's pasta dinner, we're going to be adding cheddar cheese, mozzarella, whole milk mozzarella that is, and some freshly grated Parmesan cheese as well. All right, let's add our cheeses to the sauce, and this is going to be, by the time we're finished, this is going to be $1 million cheese sauce. It's going to be absolutely tasty. You know what? Let's combine all of the cheese. Let's add all of the cheese already. What are we holding back for, right? It's time to whisk it on in. Lower the flame at this point in time. In fact, we could go ahead and turn the stove off. We're going to add our pasta. Going to add half. Work the pasta into the sauce. And then once we do that, we're going to add the remaining pasta. Going to add the remaining pasta. Continue to fold it in. We have our reserved pasta water. Let's add our perfectly seasoned ground beef to the pasta. All right, make sure you get all of the flavors, all of the seasoning that's stuck at the bottom of the bowl into the pan. And let's fold the ground beef into the pasta. This is going to be one heck of a dish. We're getting the colors from the ground beef. It's starting to enhance the color of the pasta. And just when you thought we couldn't get any better with this, we are going to add our finely chopped bacon bits. Continue to incorporate. Let's add some freshly chopped parsley. The parsley is going to give it a beautiful pop of color. Add some more bacon on top. And we're going to bring in a 9x13 casserole dish. We're going to make sure we add some either butter or any type of grease, right? Non-stick cooking spray. And once we're done, we're going to add all of this beauty into our casserole dish. Make sure you spread it out evenly into the casserole dish. You don't want any pasta sticking to the bottom or the sides of your dish. You want all of this beautiful pasta to, end up in your palate, not stuck to the dish. We're going to add half of our pasta. And spread it out into the casserole dish, of course. Take another spoonful of this goodness. Our 3 combination cheese blend, I'm just going to mix it all together. And we're going to sprinkle it on half of our pasta bake. Alrighty, perfect. And at this point, we're going to go in with the remaining pasta. We're going to spread it out into the dish. Add our final layer of cheese. Alrighty. Let's take our bacon, add it to the top. Let's add some of our parsley. your oven should be preset to 375 degrees, and we're going to place it in there for about 20 to 25 minutes until the cheese is perfectly melted, is nice and bubbly. And if you want to turn the broiler on because you want those nice little crispy edges going on, all you got to do is turn on the broiler setting for 2 to 3 minutes. But nevertheless, even though I'm saying 2 to 3 minutes, make sure you check when it comes to the broiler setting, because some broilers work a little bit faster than others. To make our burger sauce, we're gonna need some sweet relish. All right, if you want to use unsweetened relish, you definitely could use that as well. We're also gonna need some mustard. Just get it out of this little measuring spoon. I want to make sure I get all of it out. All right, we're also gonna need some mayo. Add your favorite brand of mayo. Along with our ketchup. And for dried seasonings, we're going to use garlic powder, smoked paprika. Going to give it a good mix, stir it up really well, make sure everything is perfectly combined. You want to break down all of the granulated seasonings that you added to the sauce. If you want to add maybe about a tablespoon or so of barbecue sauce to the sauce, you definitely can. It's going to make it taste even better. All right, once you're done, you're going to get yourself a nice little squeezy bottle. When it comes down to the nozzle, you can either cut the tip off or purchase a nozzle that's larger in size, considering that we have relish in our bowl, so that way it makes for an easy squeeze. Or you can just simply leave it in the bowl and just drizzle it onto the casserole, either or, right? Our beautiful creamy cheeseburger pasta casserole is finished. This is gorgeous. Check it on out, my loves. Here's what we're gonna do with that sauce that we just made. I'm not even gonna waste my time and put it in the squeezy bottle, okay? I'm just gonna take my spatula and just sprinkle, not sprinkle, but dab it on. Alrighty, add as much or as little as you want. That should be good. If you want to add some additional parsley, you definitely can. You want to add some additional bacon, you can do that as well. But in the meanwhile, it is time for us to eat. Oh, this is, look at the cheese. You know what? Let's add some extra sauce. Why not, right? Okay, yes. Come over here. Where you going? This right here is worth $1 million. It's absolutely delicious, and that's why I decided to name it our $1 million creamy cheeseburger pasta bake. This is good. Definitely go out, get the ingredients, okay? If you don't have the ingredients in your refrigerator or your pantry, you need to make this recipe ASAP. It's going to be worth it. If you have any picky eaters, you're no longer going to be picky. In fact, they're going to be asking you to cook even more. As always, check out cookingwithtammy.shop for your seasonings, Royalty Princess gems for your little girly trinkets, and that's about it, my loves. I will catch you guys in another video. Talk to you later. Bye, guys.